shit.
That's what I'm talking about.
Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
He's rolling. That means we're rolling.
Can't do anything serious.
Quarantine 2020.
You know, I had this whole opening thing planned, and you start giggling as soon as we start rolling. I can't do it. Look at what I'm wearing.
At least you match.
I do match. I thought about this.
And you're not wearing the plaid and the Yankee hat that you wear.
No, yeah,
every
that's
episode.
retired up in the rafters with all the other retired co-hosts. They had a ceremony, but it got canceled because of COVID.
It's up there with our fireman hats and our wigs. My pigtails.
I'll always be remembered. Legends never die, dude.
Never die.
Get this crap off of me. Oh, I'm sorry, everyone. My face is still my face.
Pretty sure this is supposed to go around my head, not my ears.
Yeah, whose jockstrap is that?
It literally just there's this.
Is that the way it's supposed to?
No. What's funny is my dad gave me one of these because he was getting them free from work, and
they should be given away for free.
We went golfing last week, and I specifically asked him when he gave them to me because I forgot my mask. We were stopping at 7-Eleven, and I was like, "Do these go around your ears or they go around your head?" And he's like, "Goes around your ears." So I put it on, and I see myself walking into the 7-Eleven. And I'm like, I look
amazing,
like a rapist.
Yeah,
I look like I have girls' underwear around my mouth. So I'm like, this is definitely not right, and I know that this isn't supposed to happen. So
that's really protective.
So then I'm like, I'm an idiot. So I get back in the car, and I'm just like, can you just tell me again how this goes on? It goes around your ears, and he's like getting frustrated. I was like, see, and he goes like this. He wraps around his head, just like this. And he's like, see, it's around your ears. I was like, that's around your head.
Now that's what.
Yeah, these were like
normal.
in wrapping. These are not like a sock. This is not like a sock turned into a mask. This is a real thing.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're here, everybody. We made it through the pandemic.
Masks off, boys.
But I mean, are we through the pandemic yet?
No.
Not even close. In fact, it's ramping up.
Every time I think we are, I go to the supermarket and I get reminded when everybody's wearing everything. And
You also
like,
get
holy
reminded
shit.
how people are still fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, I might not agree with the mask wearing. I don't think this prevents anything. But we're at a time now where Karens are going to flip out if you don't wear a mask. Just wear the goddamn mask and everyone shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I don't understand the outrage over the masks. Just we have to make sacrifices, and if this is all you got to do, shut the fuck up. That's
Pretty
it.
simple, yeah.
And I love this because, like, I look like I'm about to rob a joint. So, like, every time I go into any store, I'm putting this on.
The
and then
thought
next
crosses
thing
your
I'm like,
mind. You're like, if only
reaching
I
for
had
my
like
gun.
a threatening voice right now. You know, I could literally just look this person in the eye and be like, empty the drawer.
I feel like I could rob any place right now, and
Yeah.
they'd be like, well, at least he wore a mask.
Yeah.
At least he covered his mouth and nose.
But, yeah, I mean, at least you're matching. You look good.
I always look good.
Did you lose weight?
No. Pandemic.
I look like a bookie.
Yeah, you look like a bookie with really strong team ties.
Yeah. You betting against the Giants this week? I don't know.
Hey, man, the spread.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, it's pretty dope. It's a Tommy Bahama. Clearance.
Classy.
Yeah.
Clearance.
Definitely, it was definitely an impulse buy. It came up at like 3 o'clock in the morning on Instagram. I was like, I'm sorry, what? Half off? $70. All right.
I'm losing money not buying 6 of them.
I mean, yeah. It'd be criminal not to buy this right now.
So, other than hating everything, what have you been doing this lockdown quarantine?
I have like, it's weird. I'm living like a retired person.
Well, that's also because you don't have a job.
I don't have a job,
Yeah,
so
lucky
it's great.
asshole.
But I golf at least once a week.
You know how many times he's invited me to go golfing with him? You could count on one hand.
0. I'll answer that question.
Big
0.
mean jerk. How can I improve my handicap if you never take me golfing?
I played around 2 weeks ago. And so normally they've been sending everybody out in sets of 4. So if you don't have 4 people, they pair you up with random people. So
even in the COVID, that seems weird.
Well, you don't like share carts. Everybody gets their own cart unless you live in the same house. So I went with 2 of my buddies. I was like, all right, figured 3 out of 4. Who the hell's gonna join us? Here comes 62-year-old lawyer Stuart from West Hempstead. Drove all the way out to Middle Island.
Which course?
Mill Pond.
All right, Mill Pond's nice.
Yeah,
still.
but from Hempstead. He drove all the way out.
He drove past 7 other golf courses.
Yeah. Okay. Stuart
had to really get away from the wife, huh, Stu?
Yeah. So he kept like throwing little jabs at his wife too, like the whole time. So, and he was just bad. Like he got into play for work, I guess, to like bring out clients. And he said he's like, yeah, I was really bad. He's like, now I play as much as I can, and he's still terrible. So.
Well, who's really good at golf anyway?
Yeah, but he's like the type where it's like he's just hit everything, just nothing's good. Like at least there's like one aspect, like I can drive it, I can putt.
He's overdriving his putts.
Yeah. He's using a driver while he's putting. So.
God damn it!
Yeah, he's just like there's got to be a better way. So Stuart. When you go to Mill Pond, the name is in the word pond is in the name of the course. So there's a pond at one point. So we get to the pond. It's one big pond. So
almost a lake.
We get up to this, all right? So we're on the fairway. He pulls out this big fucking thing that helps you scoop balls out of the water.
Okay.
So he pulls this thing out, and he's like, all right, I'm going to get my money's worth. And just starts digging balls out of the water. All right, so me and my 2 friends we just continue to play.
Stu.
We continue to play. We go up. We get. We all actually played really well on that hole, and he was just like holding us back. So we like finish up, and we just hear, guys, help! And he's in the water. He fell in. So he's like, oh my god, and he can't get out because the liner of the pond is like that, whatever that like slick. Plasticky shit, so he couldn't get out, and he's like, guys, and I just run over. I'm like, oh my god, I'm laughing. I drop my clubs. I'm like, dude, you can't make this shit up. So he's just like, I get to him, and he's just like, don't make sudden movements, just do what you can, and we'll get out together. I was like, dude, all right, whatever.
Don't make sudden movements.
Pull him out. I said, oh, thank you so much. So I'm hoping my 2 friends have their phones out. Neither of them had their phones on them. But I was like, please tell me you got this on camera. They didn't. So we finished off, whatever. So he continues to play.
How do you not immediately start recording?
I don't know. Because I was doing it in my head. I was just like, I'm recording every second of this. So I was telling myself in my head, don't pull your phone out. You have to save this guy. Because I wanted to pull my phone out so bad because I was like, no one's going to believe me.
Right.
So he finishes. We sit and wait. I'm just sitting there, just trying not to laugh. Like I'm like, oh my god. Mind you, the 3 of us each got a cart. He walked it. So either way, he had his like scoot. Like he put the bag on a scooter.
Hold on. They paired you up with a guy. You guys were in carts.
He walked it. Yeah.
That is like criminal punishment.
No, he chose to do it.
No. But to expect you guys to like wait on him.
Oh yeah. Well, we didn't know also that he was like
awesome.
I wouldn't use that term, but I don't even know. So
is Stu his real name?
Yeah, Sturt.
Nice.
So my buddy,
you're watching, bud.
My buddy just kept calling him Sturt. Like he's like, hey Sturt, what do you do for work? Like fucking Letterkenny.
Did he catch on?
No, he's just like, oh, it was like started off as paralegal and blah blah. So.
Then I lost all my friends.
He put. So he's still in the same hole. We're sitting there waiting for him. He puts, his things on a rolly cart, and it's like on a hill. He doesn't put the brake on. So we just look and he's like, oh God, and he's chasing after his cart that's rolling down the hill now. And I'm like, this guy is a fucking train wreck.
That before or after?
It was after. I was like, do we have to keep an eye on this guy? Like, Jesus Christ.
Who's watching him?
I was like, whose man is this?
Hold on, who dropped him off to golf today?
Yeah. I was like,
we need his
Christ,
mom.
Stuart, what the hell's going on? So
did you guys get hired to play?
And he was like throwing digs. I was just like, dude. I was like, you know what? Remember your swimmies next time, Stuart. Because goddamn,
Wait, did he
dude.
start throwing digs at
just
you
like
guys?
stupid shit, like like he'd make fun of a shot somebody made or something. Yeah, the guy was really it
nice hole in one, asshole.
Yeah, yeah. Nice birdie dick. I was like, what?
Oh, was that par? Oh,
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
double bogey,
Must be
asshole.
nice. But
More
use your
better.
mulligan. But yeah, it was unbelievable. I was like, that made the day. I was like, honestly, anything we could play like shit the rest of the day. The fact that we watched that was just unbelievable. It was so great. But yeah, so golf has been part of my life now every single week.
See, I don't know if if I feel bad for not being invited and being a part of that, or having some great content for our fantastic show.
Oh yeah.
I'm caught between a rock and a hard place. But either way, next time you go golf, don't fucking call me.
Oh yeah, I'm never gonna invite you. So it's
What
fine.
a dick. Well, the last time we met to talk,
to chat.
via your entertainment, you had asked me what would I do if the conditions of this pandemic continue on.
Yeah.
I went to the beach a couple of times.
Yeah.
And the second time almost killed me. I don't know if you're familiar with the term called sun poisoning. It's a real thing. Didn't know.
Yeah.
That's not true. Of course I knew. But even if it's only 65 degrees out, 2 coats at least.
Yeah.
I put on 1 coat, was out at the beach. I didn't even get a sweat on.
Well,
I
you know
didn't
what
even
gets it
feel
too
anything.
is like if there's clouds and then there's wind, you
It's-
got like a breeze. It feels cool. You're like, oh, this
It
isn't
was-
that bad. And then you go home, you're like, what?
Right. It was a bright, sunny day.
Yeah.
But also, what's the one thing that you and I usually do once a week in the summer? We play ball.
Oh, yeah.
We're out in the sun. We're building up the layers.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Normally, I'm like, oh, I can do
Farmer's
this.
tan galore.
Oh, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I got the reverse that day. It was my problem areas that really got it. But I peeled too much, and it was like digging into the skin. So now it's just little scabs. It's horrible.
I don't know when this happened. I guess a couple years ago. I don't know. But like sunburn, it used to just be like, it'd flake up, whatever. Now it comes off in like almost full sheets like of a snake. It's insane. I don't understand it, but like I had it on my back, and I like moved a little bit in the shower, and it felt like my shoulder blade like had an air bubble in it. I was like, what in the hell? Like,
Yeah, it was water probably
it's
getting
disgusting.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely disgusting.
Well, either way, that took years off my life, but wasn't planning on living that long anyway.
Yeah. So you're here, and everything's fine. But 2020 so far has sucked.
2020's been a hellacious hell
it's
ride.
been insane.
It would be an awesome horror movie.
But there are, it's been.
It's not.
There's one upside I've been looking towards this whole thing. Like a lot of people that have been workaholics and people that have been like addicted to all these like social media and just like caring about public image and all this shit. Now you have time to like focus on your family and actually like spend time with friends. And now they're home spending time with their family, their girlfriend, their kids.
Right.
Where you didn't have that.
All the
time.
things we don't have.
Yeah, all the things you don't have and know nothing about. We're basically Oprah, just not rich. Hardest job in the world is being a mother. We would know, right?
From my last set of twins, my V is still ripped to my A. I purely said that because he was drinking, and I was hoping that we would get a shower of COVID. But
Oh man.
but he swallowed
I pictured it. You know what's funny is I pictured the rip going to the A before you said it.
Well, that's not the way you're supposed to do it.
I was like that. For
You're
some
just
reason, I
supposed
was
to
like, yeah,
laugh,
it tears
man.
like that, right? Yeah.
I picked.
Anyway.
Oh, I didn't know my words were so descriptive.
Yeah. You painted a picture. But yeah, I mean, obviously, there's been some crazy shit going on.
Ugh.
Politics in the world and
Fuck politics. Every politician
social
sucks.
problems and everything. It's been absolutely
Everybody sucks.
crazy.
All social problems are shit. I mean,
But it's really brought the worst out of a lot of people.
and yet it's brought some good things out of people
It
too,
has.
and we'll never focus on that. And I know it's something that we'll always talk about.
No, because the negative is what's the interesting part.
right, the
not
media
positive.
and everyone else, sex sells, but so does murder and mayhem.
Yeah, chaos.
And when you don't have enough of one, you're gonna have to make up the other. But this is something that I'm very mixed on. So I'm glad I'm tearing up because I'm gonna cry. No, I'm still tearing up from you.
Someone cutting onions?
But the trend now is affecting cartoons, and I live for cartoons. I love them. Animation, I think, is one of the forms of art that we need to preserve, and in the past 20 years, it's evolved into a much more serious form of entertainment. Having said that, voice actors are giving up their parts now to
famous shows too. It's
of
not
big
no-name
shows,
shows. Yeah, it's
big parts, and giving them up to I don't think necessarily appease anybody, but the times call for a consciousness, and we have Jenny Slate giving up Mindy from Big Mouth because Mindy's biracial, and Jenny Slate is not. Actor Mike Henry is giving up Cleveland Brown's voice because it's an African American character and he's not. It's hard for me to not give them some sort of admiration for this. It's a really nice, thoughtful thing. No one's asking a lot of these actors to do that. And it's a lot of money, too. This could help. But at the same time, I want to be a voice actor. Like, get paid more than the little bit that I've actually voice acted. And I want to play anything under the sun. That's what drew me to voice acting. Voice acting,
that's the beauty
I could play
of cartoons is you can literally do anything.
Yeah, I could play
The
a
stuff
woman.
that you
I could
can't
play a
do
black
in movies.
guy.
The stuff, like that's the beauty of animation is you can be an alien, you could be
Right.
whatever.
And now, like I'm caught between a selfish need or want to play anything that I want, be offered any role, or just even to read for any of these parts. And now it's like, am I only allowed to play annoying Jewish guys? Is that it? Is that all I'm allowed to play now? Because of these,
If anything, that segregates more.
And that's the problem.
Like, what about people? What about characters that play like Scooby Doo? That's a dog. So what? Dogs are offended now. You can't be a dog.
And that's
if you're an alien in Futurama,
and
that's offending somebody. It's
the
like
problem
Jesus
too,
Christ.
That argument doesn't help, right? But I hate to say I'm so in the middle of this, but it's also
But that's
like
the beauty. Like Bart Simpson, one of the most famous cartoon characters ever made, is a woman who's his
Nancy
voice.
Cartwright also sees my snaps. I don't know if she follows me, but she sees my snaps all the time. I love you, Nancy Cartwright. Sorry.
But I mean, it's also just an amazing talent that no one would have fucking known that that's a woman if you didn't
Right.
look it up. So
there's just so much anonymity in it that I just hate to think of the voice actor of any color who just got their big break, and then the pandemic happened, and then all this happened with George Floyd and all the racial unrest that we have, and then now is that person of color who just got their very first gig going to be forced or feel like they're going to be forced to give up that role because they don't qualify as that race? Like, that's where I think the unintended consequences are going to bite us in the ass. This is changing the art form that was already kind of perfect.
I think what bothers me the most is I feel like most of this shit, that stuff where you're talking about, was unprovoked. Like
Yeah.
no one's been sitting in all the riots and the protesting and stuff. I don't think anyone's sitting there like change these voice actors,
Yeah.
And then Hollywood has to fucking take it at 10 more miles further, and it's like Jesus
is it
Christ.
Hollywood?
Or
Or is
whatever.
it the actors?
Actors.
See, that's the thing. I don't think anyone told Jenny Slate to do this, and I hate to just keep using her as an example, but she was one of the first ones I saw that was coming forward and doing this. The other problem, though, that I have in a way with Jenny Slate's character is she's half African American, half Caucasian and Jewish. Half of her worked. Jenny Slate was half of this character, and it doesn't mean what she's doing is less, genuine, but it's just. I don't want us to go too far.
Well, there was the whole thing too. Is that like the Paw Patrol, that kids show? My little cousins watch it, and that was the first big story.
I didn't even hear that.
So there's each member on the show. I'm pretty sure it's almost like the Village People. Like one's a fireman, one's like they all have like normal jobs. Or
as
whatever.
puppies do in the
as
real
puppies
world.
Do, they don't have thumbs.
Hold on, is the fireman a Dalmatian?
Probably, yeah.
Better be.
So of course there's
gonna write a letter.
Police officer dog. So people were petitioning to get rid of that dog
I do
because
remember
he was
that.
a good character on the show, and it's like,
Yeah.
are you fucking kidding
Yeah.
me, people? Like, oh my
we
god,
can call for too much to appease ourselves and our homes. And unfortunately, it just doesn't work for society as a whole. And you can say that with anything, but
Yeah.
There's just way more important stuff to do. However, again,
and everyone forgot, there's still a fucking pandemic going on, and
right.
No one's talking about that. It's
and
I
America,
get that people really want to move on from it and get it out of their head, but guess what? It's real, and we can't keep avoiding it. Like, it's,
well, also too,
I know we're sitting here without masks on, but we're not fucking talking to each other. Is this 6 feet or whatever? But
I ain't licking his face, so he's fine.
It's okay. With the rage and the protesting, and I mean the people that are fucking. I mean, I'm not going to speak for any of those people, but to think that none of this shit, none of it is knee-jerk reaction, I would say.
Steve.
There's a possibility, but I mean, nowadays that's what it is. No one thinks anymore. They just react, and they're just like, I need a reaction to this, instead of like thinking shit out.
Steve texted me a few days before we got told that we were going to be back in our studio space, and he's like, I want to talk about the riots, and look at us talking about the riots. I knew it was going to happen, but also
it's hard not to, man. It's
I know. I don't want us to get too much into it.
I don't want to get into it either.
That's not what this show ever was.
Yes, are we addressing it? That's it. We are going to move on, though. Like that's.
But Antifa, fuck you.
Yeah,
that's it.
Fuck you. Antifa has two dads. As Portner would say.
Not that that's a bad thing.
Portner. Yeah.
Antifa has two dads and hates them both.
There's nothing wrong with two dads. I have four, so it's fine.
I'm one of them.
Yeah. So moving on.
But now I want to revisit an old topic that we were going to start to do as a subject, and with all of everything going on, I can't fill in enough. We could do a whole episode on this, and it would include everything going on, but I have to compartmentalize, or else I'm gonna freak the fuck out, and you all will see it, and I can't do that. So all that other stuff, all this other garbage, gone. Okay. So our segment of What the Fuck America. Like I said, we could talk about anything right now. One thing that's really bothering me that I'm very passionate about too, why the fuck are we even trying to get sports back? We can't keep ourselves fucking safe. We can't keep the goddamn athletes safe. And as of right now, Florida is the spot for two of these leagues to start working out. Florida's a fucking nightmare. Why are we bothering getting sports, Steve? Because I know it's you fuck.
Money. But no, it's honestly,
that's
I think I was one of those people. Obviously, before Florida's now a hotspot, but
Florida was always a hotspot. Be honest.
Sorry, yeah,
it's American.
I stand corrected. The Sunshine State was always hot.
Hot as fuck.
But 2 months ago, I mean, first thing on my mind was, please God, we need sports. Like the world needs it. You need a distraction. That's what sports are. It's entertainment, and it's a way to not think about shit. And
when baseball season comes around, it's a great way to fall asleep at night. It's my sleep timer. I don't give a shit. I love it.
It kills hours of time, and you know what? It distracts you from
what else would you rather
shit.
do?
And you got people sitting around home all day, thinking about God knows what, and that's I was literally like, anything they need to do for the NFL. They were like, oh, we need new face masks. I was like, fucking do it if that's gonna get them back on the field. But there's no fucking way. Like, I mean, this shit's gonna just, because all the ground rules they're setting, and like how they're gonna handle if someone contracts COVID. Basically, they got to sit out for 2 weeks, test positive twice before they're allowed back. So then also, if you have a coach that gets it, he's out 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You can't play football professionally without a coaching staff, without your best players. Baseball's definitely a little different. Like football, I mean, it's literally a unit. There's not one guy that can do it all. Baseball,
and also you're
kind
really
of get
in a lot
around
of close proximity.
Yeah. Baseball, you can kind of get around it. Football, I have no idea how they're going to do it. There's more contact in football than any other sport.
Well, I mean, right now, if you really want to look at how football's going to go, just look at how the college towns are doing right now. It's June. College teams, especially football, meet up in a few weeks. There's already, like, in really popular SEC campuses, there's already, like, half of the team is sick in some of these places. And just think about what that's doing to the student body as a whole.
Yeah.
They're still allowing the bars to be open. It's still relatively like an open town. I know LSU is a big one where a lot of students are sick already.
Yeah.
It's like, I get it that these are kids, but no one, like the NCAA, should be stepping in saying what to do. No one is doing that.
Yeah.
Are we really going to trust the NFL to like
The worst,
have their
the
shit
worst
together?
PR in any league, any professional league. They have not handled a single PR.
I mean, well, let's be honest. One of the best things that they did
Right.
was coming out and talking about unity with its black players and stuff, and how they weren't listening before. How two-faced is that after you let a guy not play for 6 years because of it? I mean, granted, we all feel whatever we feel about Colin Kaepernick, but that motherfucker should have never not had a job.
Yeah.
And now you're going to
You're
come
letting
out?
guys that beat their wives back into play, but Josh Gordon smokes pot and he's been banned 3 times. Like,
And now also they don't really ban anyone for pot.
now they're not doing it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you literally just ruined this guy's career. All he wanted to do was smoke pot. That's it.
And
so
that's-
many far worse things. You had guys.
I don't know,
Stallworth,
man.
Drunk drove and killed somebody, and he was back in the league. Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, and that's why too. Like, I love sports. I love sports. I'm wearing a fucking hat of a team I'm not even a fan of. Okay, I fucking live for this shit. Way more important things going on right now, and another thing too. Like, especially with baseball, is a great example how they're only going to play 60 games this year if they even get that far.
Yeah.
Garrett Cole, newest signed Yankee. I love him. Can't wait to see him play. $40+ million a year, right?
Yeah.
We have a problem now where these athletes, especially baseball, they couldn't figure out a good percentage of prorated salary. I hate to say it. I want to see everyone make as much money as possible, but $40 million to
Without fans.
play. Not only that, but just say the season was, underway. There was nothing going on in the world. $40+ million is a lot of money.
Yeah, but what do you think the money comes from? It's the fans.
Oh no. I'm not saying anything about where the money's coming from, but just are athletes getting paid way too much money?
Yeah.
Like, not even like, oh, they're getting paid a lot and it's ridiculous. Way too much.
Well, baseball
now.
specifically.
Baseball is out of fucking
Football,
control.
I think, for what those guys go through, it's,
I
I think around the league they don't get paid enough overall.
Right. And hockey gets
Hockey,
paid very, very small.
way underpaid. And
You know.
those guys get their asses kicked too.
Yeah,
But,
and also usually
it has
a
to do with
lot less
revenue,
injury.
It has to do with revenue, though. And
Of course.
NHL makes the least
But
amount of money.
the argument I'm making is the players shouldn't be making more. I mean, I don't think anyone should be making $40+ million. Like, it's ridiculous.
It's all based off of. I think it's the agents. That's what.
Sure.
started it.
Oh,
The
yeah.
agents are the ones that
oh,
are
it's-
like,
it's
wait a
all
second,
bad.
the league's making this much money.
Right. Your
What
team's
the
making
fuck?
how much?
Yeah.
It's a toxic system. But, it also came from a place
They're
where
also the
athletes-
agents right now are the ones that are pushing for everybody to play.
Of course, yeah.
Shocker.
But
Yeah.
but this also came from a place, I don't know, in the 60s where I can't remember the player's name on the Cardinals, who did not want to be traded, didn't want to be treated like cattle because they were also paid terribly. And he stood up and fought for players' rights. And now there's the Players Association and there's free agency and players have control. And it worked its course. And now we're here 40, 50 some odd years later. And I think we have to kind of reform it again. I don't want to see a cap. I don't know what the right answer is, but we almost lost baseball, not just because of the pandemic, but because players and ownership could not agree on how much to get paid. That shouldn't be the thing. This is a game. This is entertainment. This is America's pastime. Do whatever you can to get onto the field, but everyone needs to come together and figure this out.
The
and
idea
it
of the
shouldn't be about money,
It used to
but
be,
it always will
It
be.
used to be about the fans when it first started, and then now it's not at all.
Well, maybe when we were kids, but back in the day, they didn't really care about the players. Nonetheless, they just wanted to fit people in.
yeah.
Now and then, well, really, it was after the first strike in '94 where there was more. Like, that's what started like players giving balls out during batting practice.
Yeah.
Before that, they only had a certain amount of budget for the balls in the park for a game day, so they couldn't throw all the balls out into the field after the strike. Give them all away. It's a real thing. So, like, I don't know. There's no right answer. I had to bring it up because I don't get why we're so focused on getting sports back. I want everything back to the way it was, but it's got to be done
Well, that's the
accordingly,
thing, too.
man.
People, I mean, this is a very impatient Everything's an immediate thing now.
Right.
And
also we got the Bundesliga back.
To think that we would come up with a vaccine in 2 months is fucking absurd.
Yeah.
For the world to use, it's absurd.
I'm not taking that.
Yeah.
So the third arm. I mean, that might be fun.
Yeah. Maybe hallucinate a little bit, but it's
hey now.
This is gonna be the world now. This is gonna be life from now on. It's gonna be like the flu shot every year, and
which I don't get. I've never.
I
gotten
just can't
the flu
wait.
shot.
I'm just so curious as to how it's just gonna be like one day that people are gonna be afraid to go out and do things. Like, what is it gonna take? Even if I don't think the vaccine's even gonna do it.
I think
it's not going to be 100%.
I think people
are just going to react. Everybody's different. Everybody's
Right.
going to react to it differently. Just same way as some people are asymptomatic, some people aren't.
Well, that's the other thing.
All.
We don't know enough about.
We don't know.
COVID
And
to
well,
really
the problem
do
is they
anything.
won't fucking say that either. These health
Yeah.
people, because if they say that, then they're going to be like, "Whoa, who's running our country?" It's just like, dude, this is something new that nobody fucking knows about.
We got a bunch
they
of
wanna be
clown
right.
shoes running the country.
But they want to be right, which obviously they should be in this situation because it's killing people.
Right.
But
no one can admit any sort of real fault in these situations. It just is the way that it is.
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, again, like, we're not going to sit here and say we have any of the answers. Hell, Steve and I can't agree
You
on
don't?
shit. I know. I didn't study or anything. But, like,
all the people that tune in need
Yeah.
answers.
sorry if you're tuning into us for news and facts. If you're doing so, run into oncoming traffic.
Yeah.
You should be coming here for the giggles.
Oh no. So,
Have we made a joke yet?
no.
I don't think we've said anything funny today.
No. Off topic. So another thing I've been doing, another activity, I've been smoking meat like crazy. It's been.
I don't know
a
why
wild
I was
ride.
expecting you to just
No, honestly.
smoking weed, but
no,
then smoking
everyone's
meat.
yeah, everyone's like smoking, huh? And I'm like meat. They're like, oh.
No, I love that. Keep
Yeah,
going. I
no,
love
it's
smoking
been fucking
meat.
great. I found a wing recipe to do, like a marinade to do, and it's oh my god, it's fucking phenomenal. That I did pulled pork. I did a whole chicken. First time I've ever done a whole chicken. That was really fucking good too. And definitely a fun activity that I've taken part in.
Ask Steve how many times he's invited me over for some delicious smoked meat.
Ed also on his days off, I have sunburn. I have this.
The last 2 weeks I've been
I'm
nuts.
tired.
Dude, I was in agony. But also,
And when
I was.
you hear
I
that
was,
over and over again. You're like, this guy
Over and
doesn't
over
like
again.
me. He doesn't like me.
I don't. But every time you invite me over for smoked meat, it's always a euphemism for something else. I just want to have dinner
There's
with
no
you.
smoker. There's meat, but not edible.
It's all well.
What about like? So I bought this sweet shirt. Impulsive. Have you been impulsive at all?
Oh man, I didn't expect you to bring this up, and I have been so impulsive. Okay, I think I texted you the pictures. I got 3 hockey jerseys. Did I not send?
No.
Oh man. Okay, we'll put pictures up.
What jerseys?
I got an old school Florida Panthers jersey, did the red away one.
Okay.
A Dallas Stars gold jersey that they were supposed to come out with as an alternate, but then the last minute they canned them.
Okay.
This company makes replicas of them.
Okay.
So I got that.
So it's from China.
I don't think so. It might be, but I don't think so. It looked better than a China one.
Yeah.
Sorry, China, even though you really fucking suck.
Well, I got a good one for you, but keep going.
But I also got an old Anaheim Mighty Ducks jersey of a player.
That's dope.
Okay, it's a player jersey. The other 2 are blank. You don't really know hockey that well, so this isn't going to be that fun with you. But I put up on my Instagram the number, and it's number 10 on the Mighty Ducks. Guess the player. No one got it. Of course, no one gets it. But it's only a player that I like, and the last name makes the jersey. It's Tverdovsky. Tverdovsky. He's a real player.
Okay.
But not really that popular of a player. He played for like 15 years or whatever, was a high draft pick, was a pretty big prospect.
Yeah.
This jersey had to have been on sale for the past 20 years.
Oh my god.
Because he
They
was
were like, we cannot wait to get rid of this shit.
We need
They're like, you want
someone-
10? Are you sure you don't want 10?
we'll make you another if you just take this one for free.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was I didn't pay a lot of money for them, but No need whatsoever for any of that other than the fact that I'm bored, working at home, staring at this thing, and then, I finally have a break. What's eBay up to? And then I'm fucked.
Yeah.
Then it's over. So you should have never asked me that.
Okay.
Because now I don't feel good about myself.
All right. So I bought a couple things.
More than that shirt.
Yeah. So
shirt's amazing,
right when
by
this
the
started, I was like, shit, I need like workout equipment. If I can't go to the gym, like I'd like to have some stuff. So I bought resistance bands, which were like knockoff, and literally it didn't matter what color it was. They were all the same, and it was like rubber bands. It was fucking trash. So I was pissed at that. And then Dick's Sporting Goods actually replenished their stuff, so I actually got legit ones. Thank God that worked out. Other one, got a workout bench, foldable one. I was like, oh, cool. I can store this away. It'll work out. You know, I could do incline, decline, all this stuff. I was like, it does everything. This is great. So I order it. Says it's going to take like 3 weeks, whatever. Then I get the tracking information. I'm like, okay, cool. This is actually coming. Awesome. And half of it's in Chinese. So
You know it's legit.
it's legit. So tracking comes. The tracking, it says it's delivered. I'm like, oh, cool. So I go outside. You'd think a workout bench, you can't miss the box, right? Like how small or big, you know, like it's got to be huge. I see an envelope. We're going to show a picture of it because it's fucking unbelievable. It's going to go right here. I'm like, you know, I feel it out, and it's something small. And I'm like, what the hell is it? There's no paper. I'm like, oh, God. Cut it open, and it is a penguin figurine that's this fucking big. With the tracking number, everything. And I'm like, I was beyond furious for about 45 seconds. And then I just started laughing because I was like, what the fuck?
I'm going to ask some leading questions, and I want
wish
you to
I
be
had
totally
it on
honest.
me. Damn it, I still have it too. He's fucking this big. And
Hold on. Is the brand of the weight bench anything penguin related?
no.
That would be
So I
great if
just
it
took
was.
this as, and that just solidified in my head. I was like, yeah, the Chinese totally did COVID on purpose. Like, I was like, they're just fucking us now. Like, what the hell? Sending people penguins. Like, this ain't a bench. Like, what the fuck? Unbelievable.
Wow.
So then I paid through PayPal, and I submit a complaint, and it says it takes up to 2 weeks for them to like go over the complaint, and then they'll contact the seller. Immediately, like within hours, I just wrote out. I was like, I bought a bench, I got a penguin figurine. I was like, this is bullshit. They were just like, refund. They didn't even research. So like,
Attaboy,
here you go.
PayPal.
Yeah. So it was oh man, it's unfucking.
But you got to keep the penguin.
Yeah, I did.
Does it help you work out? Do you curl it?
Yeah, it spots me. So yeah, it's
Oh, boy.
unreal.
That's
so yeah,
amazing.
I got that stuff. What else? I got some. I got a pair of shoes that I got for work, but then I got laid off. So I was like, sweet, I got new work shoes that I haven't worn yet.
I think we need to end the show this way.
Why?
No, not right now.
Right
But
now?
you just said you got laid off. You have one of the most amazing work stories about that job. And you didn't want to say it because you were working there. And now you're laid off. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm turning the show over to Steve Cohen.
Oh no!
I hope this catches you off guard. Right. I hope this doesn't build it up too much, but I'm just gonna just go. Just go.
All right. So
No pressure, Steve.
I worked in a corporate company. So, you know, when you scheduled meetings, they had meeting rooms everywhere. You'd have to book it, obviously, right? So I booked a meeting with one other coworker, and it was like it was like a boardroom pretty much. So there was a long table, and it was filled. When we show up to the room, these guys ran over a little bit. It was literally every seat was taken. So there was probably like maybe 10, 12 people in this room. And there's a guy that works at my office that's in a wheelchair. He's in like a motorized, automatic chair.
Little old lady on a motorized cart.
Yeah. I mean, it's cute. He's got a flag with the company thing on it. So, like you see him coming. He's kind of like a shark.
We're going to get canceled for this. Oh, keep going.
He's kind of like a shark over the cubicles.
Dun, Dun-dun.
If you can't tell, I'm really bad in uncomfortable situations. So, we I'm like sitting out, we're sitting there waiting, whatever, and they see us and they're like, all right, shit, we ran over. So they all walk out. Nobody helps this guy, and like, I'm kind of like new at this point, so I didn't really know what the deal was. And I see the guy everywhere, and nobody's helping him everywhere. And I'm like, wow, this company's really unbelievable. Like, they don't fucking help this guy. So he's the last one in the room. So he's at the right end of the table where it's diagonal, whatever. It's a weird angle. I don't even know how he got the chair in this spot. So he's trying to the first thing he does, and I go around to be out of his way. And he tries to put the cap back on his water bottle, drops the drops the cap, and I'm like, oh shit. I try to help him out. So, get the cap for him.
First mistake, trying to be a nice guy.
Yeah.
Just leave him alone.
Now the clock's ticking. They were already late. We only had a half-hour meeting, so the clock is running. So now he's trying to back out of this spot. And, like, he's just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, just like Austin Powers when he's in that fucking cart in the hallway, and he's just going back and forth. Tight spot. And I'm just staring at the girl that I'm supposed to have this meeting with, and he's dressed right here, just going back and forth, back and forth. And he's just, subtle little turns. Nobody has come in to help him, and she, who knows him, isn't helping him, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. He finally gets a good enough angle where he could just back straight out. And he goes to back out, and he can't really turn around either, and just did not have the right angle. It was not straight, and the wheel goes up the wall, and I just see for a brief second we lock eyes. He looks right at me, and I look right at him, and the girl I'm with is facing me. She doesn't see this, and he just falls right out of his cart. He's just on the ground. I'm like, shit, Jesus Christ. Like, I jump around, and I'm like, oh, my God. It happened pretty freaking quick. So I'm like, holy shit. And the whole thing falls over. And the girl I'm with is like, oh, boy. She's still not reacting the way that I thought. Like, I'm like, maybe some urgency. I don't know. And I'm like, fuck. So I try to, like, help him. And he just yells, second time today. And I was just like, at that point, I'm like, like, all of it, just like, I could not. So then I grab he's got a suitcase, and it's a wheelie suitcase, so it's like something, yeah, of course. So he like carries it next to him when he's going. And I just take that out, and someone comes running in. Miraculously, somebody from outside, all of a sudden they see that he's in trouble. Like, as if he had fucking life alert on. They knew that he was going to fall. Like, they were ready to come when he fell, but like they weren't there to help him out. So, unbelievable. And he's like laying there, and he's just like all pissed off. And so I just go out in the hallway with his bag, like ready to go, and like everybody came in to help him, So they plop him like right back in the chair, and they don't. So his thing is still backwards. He still has to back out. They didn't like adjust his chair, and then they all leave again. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on in this place? So then he's backing out again, and I'm just sitting there like just biting my lip, like stop, don't fucking laugh, like oh my God. And so then he turns himself around finally. At this point, there's 5 minutes left in my meeting time, and he pulls away, and I just like I'm holding the thing there for him. He just grabs it and drags it away, and then he just goes off, and I just see his flag drift off into the sunset. But then we sit down, and I was just like, well, that was crazy, and they're just like, oh, that's just so and so, and I was just like, what the fuck is this place? So yeah,
who's wondering for you?
Unbelievable. I was like, how often does this happen? And I mean, because he said twice, it was twice that day. It wasn't even noon yet. And they're all fucking like, whatever. Like this happens all the goddamn time. I was just like, this guy's a hazard. I was like, this is insane. Oh my God. And then of course I proceed to see him like over and over again, like everywhere. And like see him in the elevator.
Not thankful at all for your assistance.
Not at all. No, he never said thank you again. Fucking asshole. That's probably why nobody helps him. But
you're in a wheelchair and you're a dick. Not a good combo.
Oh my God.
Should be nice.
It was just something like you just like what just happened, and then like we had our meeting was 5 minutes because the room was up after that. I was just like,
any lasting thoughts?
It was just the most insane thing ever. Oh man,
no surprise.
I'm so glad I remember that.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you worked there for that one story. But boy, it's a shock it didn't work out, Steve.
Yeah.
You have a conscience that clearly did not.
I had the devil and the angel just going back and forth.
And they were both saying the same thing. Don't laugh.
Laugh,
I'm not
motherfucker.
trying to laugh.
Laugh, motherfucker. How funny is that shit?
I'm so glad that sparked that, because you told me that story like
You couldn't breathe.
we were driving.
Oh, yeah.
And you were thank God you were driving, because if I was driving and heard that, we would not be here. We would have cleared 3 lanes and hit that guardrail as hard as possible. And you know what? We would have gone out doing the one thing we love to do, laughing.
Yeah. Those kind of situations, like, I'm the worst when it's something like that. Like, we had so growing up, down the street from me, there was a takeout Chinese food place. And so they had 2, like, the daughter, it was a family that ran it, and it was 2, like, slow daughters that they had that answered the phones and did all the transactions. Okay, they were twins.
But they spoke the best English?
No. It was, like, slurred. They were off. And they'd repeat
So many things were going to get canceled over.
Everything that you would say. So you'd be like, oh, can I get chicken and broccoli? They'd be like, all right, chicken, broccoli, nah. This is exactly how they sounded.
Was that
And, like, one was slightly better than the other one with the pronunciation.
that Charlie Brown's teacher on the phone?
It sounded like, yeah, it was like one
Wah,
parent.
wah,
Yeah,
wah, wah,
wah. Yeah, it was
I
literally
know,
that.
Dad.
So if any of us ordered, we'd have to go in the other room and do it because we couldn't. We'd just start laughing. So so years later now, my dad's at work, and they eventually like sold, and you know they were gone. So my dad's at work, and this was like in the last year, and he's talking to this, and his friend that he works with lives in Mount Sinai, like 20 minutes away. And he's like, oh, yeah, we get Chinese food from this place by me. He's like, man, it's so hard to call, though, because they, like, you know, whatever. So my dad's like, he calls me immediately. He's just like, puts me on speaker, and he's like, what do they sound like when you call them? And I was like, oh, you know, chicken, broccoli, what, nah. Like, that's how they said rice. Like, it's just like,
Was that Goat Boy?
It's just a sound, yeah. Do you want duck sauce?
Get him some chicken fried.
You want some lemon? I'm like, was that
General
15
Down
minutes?
chicken.
15, 20 minutes? I'm like, all right. I guess I'm a loser today. But it was so bad, dude. I just like, but it was just funny. We were like, oh my God, we found them. Like, they moved to Mount Sinai. And the guy was like, yes, that's them. That's them. Insane. And they were always studying physics and shit. Like, they were like,
Geniuses.
way ahead, and they were like the same age as me, so it was like we grew up like over the years, like we were just the same. It was fucking bizarre.
Well, here's the real question: how's the food?
Their food was good. When they sold it, it got really bad.
Nah.
Their food was good though. I mean, if they were able to, you know, relocate and be successful, but it was, oh my God.
That
Can't
after a
make
pretty
that shit
heavy
up.
episode and a lot of time off and a lot of uncertainty as far as what you and I are going to do.
Yeah.
What a way to end
Any nice things we said just went out the fucking window.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I hope a lot of the bridges we burned kind of rebuilt themselves, because
This shirt just got uglier from everything I just said.
It's
And
a
I
giant
wish,
shirt.
honestly, I
Can't
was
get much
making it up,
uglier.
but I'm not going to lie, that impersonation is literally what they sounded like. It's not.
So we hope
They never even fucked up an order. They never fucked up.
Well, of course, they kept repeating
Let me
it
save
back.
myself, because they were good at what they did. It was tough.
But let this last segment of ours be kind of a guiding light for everyone else. We can laugh. Laughing
Please,
never
God.
hurt anybody. We can ease up on some things, and I get it. A lot of bullshit right now. We touched on it. We went probably further than we'd like to on some things, but laughing is what brought us all back together.
Oh, yeah.
It will always bring us all back together. And my lasting note, comedy isn't funny if it's not offending someone.
Oh, absolutely.
So toughen up, everyone, because comedy needs to be here so that we can fucking move forward, because we're not. We're regressing,
Yes.
and we're just spinning our tires. And I I kind of hope we piss someone off today, though, and get canceled. It'd be the best thing for us, too.
Guarantee I probably just lost a couple of friends.
Whatever. If anyone really wants to lose a friendship over this, you're taking us too seriously.
Yeah.
On that note, Steve Cohen.
Ed Blumenthal.
Elbow. Can't touch anyone other than that. Weenuses only.
Yep.
This has been the CoEd Podcast. We'll see you.
We're back, baby.
Enough said.
Enough said. Check it. All right.
Hold. Really just wanted to see how long I could get you to do that.
I'm